What's up everyone, it's Tony here, and welcome back to the Yacht Addiction YouTube channel. The super yacht in front of us is a 132-foot Benetti, first delivered in 2016. You have 6 different staterooms inside, sleeping up to 12 guests, and it also can house up to 7 crew. This yacht is listed for sale by the FGI Yacht Group. So we've toured a decent amount of Benetti super yachts on the channel in the past year, but this is probably the most modern design from Benetti that we've toured. We've seen a lot of yachts that have been refit over the years, but like I said, this one was first delivered in 2016, so it's a little bit more modern in the design. So I thought it'd be really neat to compare what a refit one looks like versus this one. Officially, the length is 132 feet. It has a beam of 26 feet and 8 inches, and it has a draft of 7 feet and 6 inches. We are 1 hour before the show opens on day 3, so a lot of the different yachts next to us are still prepping. So I apologize if the music is a little bit loud, but that's playing on another boat, so it's a little bit out of our control. All right, everyone, this is Tony here from the future. Forget what I just said because the song that was playing next door was actually copyrighted music and we don't have a license to use it. So I'm gonna do this voiceover really quickly, but don't worry, it'll cut back to me commentating live like I normally do in just a minute. So right at the back of the yacht, you'll see how the transom wall actually folds down, and you can see it forms either a swim platform or a beach club, however you want to utilize the space. You'll see the crew actually set out some of the toys that this yacht features. And then right in front of us, you'll see that step that you can use to get onto the yacht. And then over to the right, you also have the passerelle. So 2 different options there. And then forward, you actually have a really large garage space for all the toys, your tender, and a couple jet skis. And we're gonna get to the inside of that later on in the tour. Right now, you'll see how they have the named shade that's draped across that area, just separating the 2 areas. It's set up for, display purposes. So now we're actually gonna head onto the yacht. So now we're gonna step up into the aft deck from the port side. And you're gonna see the 2 tables there with some lovely chairs wrapped around them. And then obviously you'll notice the huge row of bench seating that's almost the entire width of the yacht. So that's a great casual place to hang out. There's actually a more formal area to dine up on the bridge deck. So of course we'll see that later in the tour. And then overhead, you do have the overhang, so it is a very well protected area. And then you have the built-in speakers, all the lights of course. You have the stairs that lead up to the bridge deck aft. And then right in front of us, we have the powered curved glass doors. And there is a sensor right in the ceiling, so that's gonna, right as I step up to it, the doors will open up automatically. And now, that's enough of Tony from the future. Let's get back to the live commentary. So we'll be able to see what a slightly more modern Benetti design looks like. You have the formal entrance right here. We have large sofas on either side and really large windows flanking the main salon as well. You'll see the rows of LED lights in the ceiling that really elevates the space. And then the TV is tucked away right back here. And up in the Sky Lounge, you have a much larger TV. So this really is a lovely area set up just for, hanging out and relaxing together. And then there's no partition or anything like that. You just walk right into the formal dining area. And the color of this artwork in the wall really pops. Thought that was pretty neat. And then of course there is a door to access the crew area into the galley over here. But if we stay on this side, you'll find the main side access door. So if you're boarding from the side of the ship, you can come in right here. You have the stairs that lead down to the guest cabins. So down here we have 4 guest cabins. You have the owner suite on the main deck, and then 1 additional guest cabin upstairs. So this is the staircase for the upper deck. Right here we'll find the day head for this main level. And I'm noticing they went with an extremely light wood on this Benetti. It looks really nice. And if we step in here, there is a more formal office area for the owner's stateroom. And on the other side, this entire wall has built-in closets. This is great for things like luggage storage. And of course, you have tons of hanging space. And then you take 2 steps up, and you'll find yourself in the owner's stateroom. You have those same light neutral tones all throughout. Over here we have a couple of chairs, and then I really love the design they did with these windows. You should be used to some pretty large windows on a super yacht owner stateroom like this. But I really like how they have the one that's pretty large facing just away from the yacht. But then if you want to get a better view of the water directly near you, there's also another window slanted downwards. And you have these 2 large windows on either side of the stateroom. So you have the same thing over here behind that settee. Of course, you're going to have a large TV up on the wall. And then you have another extremely large walk-in closet. So same idea as before. These are all hanging space and storage. And that stretches back pretty deep. This yacht is privately owned, so we're not going to open up all of these cabinets, but you also have a little dressing table right here. And then this is one thing I noticed that definitely has been updated compared to some other Benettis we've been on. Take a look at this beautiful ensuite. You have the lovely marble in the floor, a really large double vanity, you have another dressing table over here, and then you do have privacy for the toilet. And then on the other side of the room, you have an extremely large walk-in shower. And that's through this frosted door. So you have a huge rainfall shower head right in the middle. And then you have L-shaped bench seating in here. So you have plenty of space in the shower. And you also have, once again, the beautiful stone materials on the walls. So this is definitely something that you don't find on an older Benetti that has been refit. And I think they did a really good job with this design. Obviously there are even more modern Benettis, but like I said, 2016, it's still relatively recent. And I also really like the Alcantara-like material that's built into the headboard with the lights that wrap around. So, pretty impressive owner's stateroom on this main deck. And as mentioned, we're going to head down to these 4 additional guest staterooms. We'll start with staterooms 5 and 6. You have 2 single beds in here. On the other side of the room, behind the door, you'll find the TV. And then, of course, the ensuite is right here. And, of course, I mean, on a yacht this size, you're going to expect really nice showers, no matter what room you're in. And this one has just that, with, of course, the rainfall. And sometimes I mention it, but here you can see a good example of the magnetic catches that a lot of these doors will have, so you don't accidentally slam it into anything. And we have the other final cabin right over here. And this is very similar to the last one. So the 2 single beds, the TV, and then of course the ensuite. And I like how they went with the 2-tone look in here. And I didn't mention it in the last cabin, but here are your closets. Now you do have some additional storage right here, and this will just be used for the crew. And then there are 2 cabins back here. You have one right here. I like the very similar design elements in the headboard. And this is a really large ensuite. And their closets are on each side of the TV.
How many hours has a day in the life of Eileen Goode?
And then right over here, one more cabin to show you on this level. And this one does have pretty good sized windows, but the blinds are currently down. And then similar to before, you have closets on each side of the TV. So plenty of storage space. Once again, very high-end design elements all throughout. And then the ensuite, of course. All right, so we have one more guest cabin to see. We'll get there in a little bit. Before we get up there, let's see if we can take a quick peek at the galley. And we're going to access that through the door that I mentioned earlier on the other side of the formal dining area. So, right here you can see a dumbwaiter. This is great for sending snacks or meals up to the upper deck. It's a little prep space right here. This is a beautiful galley. You have your wall of cold storage. The double sink in the middle, right on the island. There is a side access door right here. And then you can see the Miele oven, a wine fridge, and the induction cooktop. So if we continued forward in that galley, that's how you get down to the crew area. The crew, they just wrapped up cleaning, I believe, and I think they're enjoying a well-deserved break. So I am not going to ask them to move. I know you guys really want to see those areas. I do it when I can, but I think we're going to skip it for this one. So sorry about that. But all the way forward, we'll end up in the bridge. They have the screens built in, looking down in these different sections. Then, of course, more monitors across the front here. And then there's also a little bench in this area as well. So one thing I'm noticing, there is no captain's cabin off of this area. Not a big deal, but sometimes you see them connected to the bridge, sometimes you don't. It all just depends. And you have large vertical windows, so you have a pretty good view out of the front of this yacht from the bridge. And then heading back, you'll find the day head for this level. And I was actually wrong about the captain's cabin. I am 99% sure that this is the captain's cabin. The door is actually locked, so we're not going to go in there and take a look. Obviously, we can't get through. But if this was just a stew pantry, I think it would most likely be unlocked. So pretty confident that this is the captain's cabin. So although it's not connected directly to the bridge, it's same effect really. And then before we get to the Sky Lounge, let's look at this last cabin. So I'm pretty confident that you would want to use this as your VIP. The bed is pushed against the wall here. And this is going to be a really bright shot, so I apologize if it gets a little blown out, but you can see Actually, I think we're okay. You can see these massive windows. And obviously when you're not at a boat show and there's no yachts right next to you, what a beautiful view you get just lying in bed. And then of course there is a TV right here. You can see that cut out. So this is a really cool VIP cabin. And then we'll come around this corner and this is where you find your ensuite. And you have that same two-tone design as you do in the others. So let me just back out of here and give you one more view, or one more shot of the view, I should say. Not that this is the worst view in the world. Over here we have Curfew 2. If you haven't seen this yacht tour, I filmed this at Flibs last year, so make sure you check that out if you haven't already seen it. This is also, I mean, I'm loving this Benetti that we're on, but this Curfew 2, it's also one of my favorite yachts. So after you're done watching this one, make sure you go check that one out if you haven't. And now we're going to step into the Sky Lounge. You can see little table right here. Could enjoy a game of cards or some poker with friends. You have the bar area fully stocked. You have an espresso machine. And then here is that dumbwaiter. So if they're sending up drinks or snacks or meals, whatever it is, they can send it up right through here. And then on the other side, I did mention you have a much larger TV, and that's located in here. You have this huge L-shaped seating area. And then paired with this is the huge TV up on the wall. And similar theme, you have some massive windows in this area as well. It's also such a unique shape. And you do have these windows on the opposite side as well. And because there's no cabin here, of course, you have this window that goes along with it. Now, another really cool deck. This is the bridge deck aft. And you have these sliding glass doors that can be opened up all the way across. And this is where you're going to be enjoying all of your al fresco meals. Look at this beautiful setup. The crews on these super yachts do a fantastic job prepping the spaces, making it fun for guests. You have different theme nights. And even just the setup for the boat show, it looks incredible. And then you also have, you can see, you have a sink over here, and then you have additional refrigeration and storage. We're not going to be opening up all of these, but you also have it built in on this side as well. And then continuing back on this bridge deck aft, you have this freestanding deck furniture. And the overhang over about 90% of this bridge deck aft. All right, now this is a tri-deck super yacht, so we have one more sun deck to head up to. And then also, don't let me forget, well, obviously there's nothing you guys can do, but maybe I'm just telling myself now, don't forget we have to go up to the bow area, because that is also an incredible area. So right away you have a very similar but slightly different set of deck furniture up here. And this area is fully open, but you could put up some additional umbrellas. You see one umbrella over here, over these deck loungers. And then on the far side, you also have a built-in shower. So that's pretty cool if you get a little workout in on the treadmill, or if you just want to rinse off. You have the shower built in. And then continuing forward, you have the hardtop overhead with the soft section in the middle that can be retracted. And you have another huge square table. So you could also enjoy some delicious meals up here, but this definitely feels a little bit more casual compared to that last dining area we saw. And then talk about a fully stocked bar. You can see the crew is 100% prepared for any type of drink that you want to throw at them. And of course, this bar area is full with a sink And then, of course, refrigeration, ice makers, all that type of stuff down in these sections here. And then, once again, additional storage right here. Not 100% sure. I don't want to mess up their display. This might be a grill under here, or it could be storage. 50-50. Then let's take a look at the front, because we have an additional seating area forward. And this, once again, what a lovely place to lie out and relax in the sun. And we'll give you a little preview of the bow lounge, which we're going to head to next. You get a beautiful view off the front of the super yacht. So we're going to head down here next. But let me know what you think of this sun deck in the comment section down below. I'm very impressed with how they have this all laid out. So we're gonna head down this staircase, and then you don't have side decks on this level, so we can either go straight through the bridge and out, or we can go back down here and just head up the side deck. So I think we'll do that. Hey, how are you? We just bumped into the captain of Curfew 2 next door. His name is also Tony, although officially I think it's Antonio. It's always nice to see. One thing I've noticed, and I don't even officially work in this industry, but it's definitely a small world, small industry. A lot of familiar faces all the time at these shows. Anyways, look at this beautiful bow area. You can throw up some umbrellas in this area too. And then I'm sure you saw it already, in front of the bench, in front of the sun pads, you have the built-in jacuzzi. And I really like how they separated these two areas. You have this section for guests for relaxation, but it's also kind of nice to see when there's a dedicated space for the crew to work. And this one has that. You go through this gate, and then down here, this is all business up here. All right, so we're gonna head back on the other side. If you're enjoying this Benetti SuperYacht tour, make sure to leave a like on the video. We still have to head down to the engine room and see if we can get into the garage. But also, if you're new to the channel and you find yourself enjoying the tour, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a future upload. I'm noticing the decks are really wide here. Now we're gonna head through this door right here. So if we open this up, I'm actually going to open it up all the way, and it clips in. Let me show you what that actually looks like. So just for safety purposes, so this door doesn't close on anyone or it doesn't damage the ship, you have this clip right down here. And then we can come down this little staircase. So you have, obviously this is a space for the chief engineer. You have a lot of different controls and monitoring systems. Through this hatch is how you actually see the garage. All right, we set the camera down for a second because this is a very heavy watertight door. And I'll just give you a quick peek. You can see we have a jet ski back here. Actually, here, let me step in just a little bit. You can see multiple jet skis. You also have the tracks for your tender, and then all the additional safety equipment and other fun water toys. Tons of storage back here. This room goes very deep. And then you can see out here, this is that shade that's built in. So that's kind of nice for display purposes, although I do think people like to see in here. So kind of a mixed reaction to that. All right, we might have to set this back down. Yep, give me one sec, guys. All right, now we can turn back and actually head forward, and through this door is the engine room. So right away you're greeted by a generator, There is a step down, which does give you full headroom. Then if we come over here, you'll find the 2 engines. Now, these are MTU engines. More specifically, they're MTU 12V 2000 M72 engines, rated for 1,450 horsepower each. Your top speed is around 15.5 knots. You can cruise at 14, and if you drop it down to 11 knots, you'll get 3,400 nautical miles of range. So obviously this yacht is very capable. Not the fastest ship in the world, but that's okay. You can certainly travel the world on this Benetti. So we're going to watch our step getting back up here. All right, now, see if we can get it. You just unclip this. That was very easy, it just releases. Some of them are a little more difficult. We'll close this up, as we do like to leave everything as we found it. All right, this is secure. And I think that is it, guys, for the tour. Thank you so much for watching this Benetti Super Yacht Tour. Thank you to the FGI Yacht Group for granting me access on board. Let me know what you think of this one in the comment section down below, and we will catch you next time.